Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're doing lightning and water for Tears of the Planet today. And if I could start off with Jack, would you like to pronounce the name of this one?
Varghidopoulos?
Oh, anybody else want to have a go?
Final Fantasy TCG's most aggressive parsnip.
Varghidopoulos.
Polis.
It's a radish. It's what it is.
Discard a card, you can dull something, and for some reason deal at 1,000 damage. Next up, we'll be talking about 8. Look, this is what we're talking about, the Lightning Cadets. 8 is really good. Now, there is a Wind 8, who's also pretty good, but 8 is going to be recursion for you. And if you're playing this with 9 and Ace, he is always going to be hitting damage. So you're always going to be netting back more CP, haste, all that stuff. Man, this is a great Final Fantasy TCG card by almost every metric, right?
He's Estinian.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say it's very evocative of the Estinian we got last set before.
23, 2 sets, yeah.
23.
It's even got exactly the same damage effect. Damage 3, gain a power, gain 1k.
Yeah.
Just costs 1 CP less and is 1k less power, which is probably a good thing, right?
The key thing for him, there's an improvement, is he gets back backups.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the Estinian only said forward.
You'll get back your 7S effects, which is irrelevant.
Well, let's talk about 7. Oh man, when this was spoiled, absolutely insane.
I think this card is one of the keys to making cadets really good. I think this card is actually very, very nice. It's my immediate thought is this is very similar to the Ishtola legend for scions that you dull a scion to give another scion forward haste and first strike. Except this is on a backup, so it's harder to interact with, so it's pretty much always going to be there. Just ready to give something haste, right? And obviously you don't need things that have already been down to already get haste, but even hasting an ace straight off the bat to get the draw immediately, that's pretty good, right?
What about hasting a fire ace to get 2 points of damage in?
Yeah, also true. Or is it the 10 or the 1 CP ace to get 10k damage swing in straight away as well?
That has to be mono fire, doesn't it?
It doesn't.
You've got to be able to remove 4
be.
fire cards or 5 fire cards.
It's 5 fire cards, which is doable. I don't know if that is the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong, but it's possible. But yeah, the S effect as well, very good.
It's like you mentioned this earlier. This effect works well with the Queen because you're just basically giving something haste for free.
You activate 2 cadet backups.
Yeah.
So you then just immediately haste. So you can either double haste or you can haste something, then use the Queen effect, get this backup to play something else. This card is very good, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those key pieces that's going to give it a little bit of life, I think. But we needed that searcher backup, didn't we? We did get Sync, which is really good as well. I'm going to spoil here thoughts of this. There are 4 Lightning Cadets here that we'll be talking about, and all 4 of them are really good. Sync can play a cadet from the break zone equal to or less than the number of cadets you control. Great. So what? Anything, right?
You're probably going to have it.
Maybe not Big Ace. That's it.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna have to let that sink in, aren't we, guys?
Moving on.
At the very least, right? You discard 1 CP. Oh no, it's forward. Never mind. I was gonna say you can get rid of the Machina backup for this, but no, it's only forward, which it's still good. You could very easily play the Wind type 0/1 that draws you a card as well. That's okay, as even as a turn 1 player, another cadet backup into forward draw a card. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you're really stuck, turn 1, you can discard Machina and a lightning card for this to get 2 backups turn 1.
No, it's forward.
Oh, it does say forward. Right. Sure, never mind.
That would be lush if it could do that, but no, unfortunately.
Yeah, that'd
not.
be too much.
Displaying Realm to ramp you backups though is also is an option.
That's
Because
true.
you need 3 out to trigger to get the Realm in.
Realm.
Rem.
Oh, Rem. I was like, what? Look, I want to say, like, buckle your seatbelts, everybody, because it's a good Jack. It's taken 25 sets, but we've got a good Jack.
And he wants you to play all the other ones with the S effect.
Well, I don't think we'll be that desperate for it, because at least 8's going to be helping us out on that, right?
Very breaky, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's break on EX, break on tap. You know, you're going to be, an undisputed break. You know, no cost limitation, no power limitation, no active or dull limitation. Very interesting.
It's like
if it triggers from EX, does it do the break still?
Yes, it's a replacement effect.
Cool. Just checking.
But yeah, it's like the starter deck Queen, but like good. So, yeah, very, very, very good. Like to see this. Maybe, it's like there's good fire stuff, there's good wind stuff, and there's good lightning stuff, but you can't play all of it. It's a bit disheartening there, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get a color fixer next set or something. Next up we have Scorpion Sentinel. I really like this thing, man. I really like this thing. I don't like that it's a lightning monster so that you can't search it, but there's me, I guess. I think if you've got this and oh god, what's he called? What's the lightning monster that does something called?
Spectrum Keeper?
Yeah, those two together are absolutely horrible, right?
I mean, yeah, this is a complete aggro stumbler. This is it's really interesting. Really, it's a shame that it becomes a forward, though you will never ever be able to attack with it, because it'll only become a forward when your opponent's forward attacks.
That's
but
fine.
it's still
costing 1 is like fine.
Costing 1 makes up for that.
Anybody having to remove waste their removal on this is just like that's pretty good in my books. But
I've paid 1 CP and they've probably paid 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, constantly removing one of their attackers, I think, is just that's pretty foul. Big fan of this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Kuja less so. Look, 2CP backups are cool. I like the 2CP backup Kuja we've already got because you got an EX burst. This one doesn't. It says put Kuja and 1 forward into the break zone, choose 1 forward, break it. No, not when you can't.
You've got to sack one of your own forwards,
Not something like this.
Yeah.
If he hasn't got something like EX burst or something like that, you have to search him, and if you can't search him, it's no good. So that's that, I think, for that. We have Box Topper Legend Zach. Oh man, I've got some mixed feelings about this one. I don't know really where I'm at with that. It's a soldier. Paul, what do you think?
Okay, so I'll go through the text bit by bit. So soldier, okay, has my interest. 3 or more category 7 forwards, Zach gains haste. That just encourages super wide play, and
that's what gives me the fear, man. I don't think he does have haste.
That's why. Yeah, I mean, getting haste isn't too bad. I mean, okay, moving on. Zach attacks, choose 1 in category 7 character of 2 or less. I mean, that could be a backup that you're playing from the deck when you attack. And that is on any attack. That's without the extra wide board going on. I mean, we were thinking that, this would be the card for soldiers. But honestly, Fire Zach, it just feels a lot better for me right now. I'd like to be proven wrong. But, I mean, this card is a little disappointing after having some time to think about it. Then finally, the S effect, breaker forward, amazing, but only when he's attacking. It's, I don't know, it's a lot of steps to add up to make it feel like a consistently good card, which I don't think it is. I think it's it's quite a weak legend, this set. I mean, again, as always, I'd like to be proven wrong. I'd like to be educated on the matter, but it doesn't feel like a great card to me right now.
I completely agree. It's like 3 forwards to gain haste just gives me the fear, man. You are walking straight into a Shanto. Look, if you do this turn 1 and your opponent just goes like, oh cool, 8 CP Shanto, like you are not coming back from that. Like,
absolutely not. I mean, it's I want to like this card. I will probably want my 3rd box topper of it in case there is a good synergy that I'm not aware of. But at the moment, the other Zach the Fire Zach is the one that goes into Soldiers, in my opinion.
Well, a lot of the conversation around this is like, it is that standard unit card to go with all the Soldier candidates we're getting.
I really don't dislike that, to be honest, because I think that's basically like a Man in Black style lock. Like, you just playing the Ice one or the Earth one, or the you're having him produce a body and like dole free something down, or maybe it's a secret sort of Turks card or something. I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll have to weigh it up, but it doesn't jump out to me as a good card just yet.
It's probably got
certainly doesn't feel like a legend.
Anything, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think it definitely feels like a legend. I don't think it feels like a box topper with a screenshot artwork like that, which is pretty honking. But look, we celebrated Jack finally getting a good card. Amaranth still isn't there yet, unfortunately.
We worked this out yesterday, didn't we, Paul? There's a 10k board wipe in the game now between 2 cards. 3 cards involving this. No, this card's terrible.
Yeah,
it's awful. I mean, they just don't like Final Fantasy IX. They like Zidane, and they like Garnet.
I don't get how they equated this to costing 5. Or the fact that damage couldn't be a little bit bigger.
That could be 7k and it still wouldn't see play.
I'm just hoping the Amaranth we get next set will be good, because it's a Fire LB card, but it's going to be called Amaranth, so it probably won't be.
We have Elite Riot Trooper. Don't think it's terrible at all. As far as these backups go, look, absolutely making sure that a 2-cost forward melts. Not terrible at all.
Yeah. Making sure that Zidane is dead.
In Mono Lightning, you are not playing this. But in like toolboxy sort of decks, you could do, and especially with the fact that it's Cat 7, which is quite relevant within sort of decks that are happening now, sure. Standard play, probably not. Not terrible though. Next up we have Pain. Black Mage support. I don't really know how to feel about this one. Anyone got any strong feelings?
I don't think there's any 10 forward you really care that much about giving haste, right? So
well, it's herself though, right?
Yeah, 3 CP, deal 7k to a 3 or less. I mean, the thing is like, Black Mages already deal that damage to... It has the Black Waltz to kill 3 or less anyway, right? So the damage to a 3 or less isn't relevant.
So the Gull Wings thing is more so then, right?
Yeah, the Gull Wings is definitely a thing that... I mean, 7k is a good amount of damage, especially for something that's 3 or less, I suppose.
We did have a Porom a couple of sets ago that was 9k to a 3 or less and was EX though, which I think is just better. What was it, Palom? Whichever name around it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Gull Wings though, there's several pains and you aren't playing this one.
It's just off element as well. Like, what other lightning is there really in Cat 10?
I mean, that's fine because you play in the Uno to play this for 2 CP anyway, right?
Yeah, but like, what happens if you draw all of these?
Well,
like,
you can draw better.
You can LB Cloud, but like, she's just dead in hand at that point.
Probably not. VV backup. It's a WAF backup, not a 9 backup, and it dulls on entry. It's a 2 CP backup, sure. It has no synergy and no deck, right? That's that.
Doesn't even go to one.
Yeah, I mean,
like
there was a 2CP EX Kuja, I think Opus 19 that came out, and I think that just does it slightly better.
Next up, we have a Dramalek the Wrath. Okay, I am the biggest stan of Mono Lightning probably in the world right now. I love the deck entirely. I would not play this card. I think that the text is pretty good. I would pay 5 for this, or cast it for free off of Rama 16. 7k to all the forwards that my opponent controls, fine. Dealing myself a point of damage, really bad, because in Lightning we want to repeat our summons and do them over and over and over again. We do have a big EX burst count, so we can always make sure we do stuff on that. I am not playing this card at all. There's no way. It needs to be 8k minimum. Well, here's the thing: the problem that Lightning has is monsters with water, and say knights or stuff like that, and this doesn't really help or with any of the problems that Lightning has. It's sort of greedy, if anything, but if you're only going to hit 7Ks, it means that likely you can only hit 2 or 3 CP forwards anyway, and Ixion already does that. So I don't know. I'm not finding the room for this in my decks. I
think the difference between this and Ixion is that this isn't hitting your own board, right? To be honest with you, when you put it like that, I don't disagree with Lightning's biggest, weakness being sort of a lot of the monster stuff, which is why I was playing around with a lot of the pre-release Emperor from last set, which just break all forwards and monster opponent controls and that definitely meant games against mono water monster decks were completely winnable because of one activation of that. But I don't think this card is bad at all. I do agree with where you're saying that you want to sort of replay summons in Lightning quite a bit, especially where you got the Odin EX burst that costs 5. When you get down to 5 damage, you want to sort of man in black play that every single turn. God knows that's won me so many games that should have been unwinnable otherwise, having a man in black down with that.
Well, it's that, and Rama 16 is giving you twofers as well. So, doing 7k
only twofers for stuff that's active, though.
Sure, but not you hit the active one with the damage, and then with the summon you hit the one that isn't. So, yeah, I do get that. I will say, I don't think it's a terrible Earth Lightning card. Where it's possibly that you've got a little bit more sort of room to get around things, but as a Lightning card, I don't think it's great. As an Earth Lightning card, I don't think it's too terrible.
I mean, Earth Lightning, you've got an awful lot of searching backup synergies, so you might be a bit actually redundant on backups, even if you're running a sensible amount. So the backup cost might not be too bad, and you'll have quite a high EX count in there as well.
I think it's going to be seen as one-offs in Lightning decks for at least the start of the set as people try it out, and I think it's going to be one of those cards that people are going to figure out very quickly if this card is very good or if this card possibly isn't doing enough. So
I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to be giving it a go.
If it had EX burst, I'd be all over it, but it doesn't, so I can't. But like I say, it doesn't really solve any of Lightning's problems, so it's a no from me. But moving on, we have the final 2 cards of Lightning. We have, first up, Rude. It's not the Rude that we were looking for, but it's not terrible. It's sort of, it sort of does what the starter deck Rude did in dull something, rather than dull everything, just dull one thing. But the recursion, not terrible. Rude is fairly contested. His name's almost all the Rudes are good. But maybe not the Opus 8, 11 one. The Opus 11 one's not great, but all the other ones are pretty good one way or another. But I could see this seeing play. I don't, especially if you get this as like a value thing off of Sung. I don't hate it, but I would really have loved more Turks that aren't called Reno and Rude this set, especially with the fact that we should have had Alina. But hey, maybe that's next set.
It shocks me we didn't get an Elena and a new thing.
Yeah. You know, Elena, Cisne, legendary Turk.
We should get a non-Turk Cisne probably next set, but
yeah.
All of that
In
is
fact, we could have one Sung as well.
Yeah, we should have. There's loads more room for that. We haven't even had like Crisis Core Sung or anything like that. But with that, we have the new Reno. I don't like him at all. There's stuff he can do which I think is pretty cool, but I really don't love him.
No, it's a shame. It pairs really nicely with Promo Zac. You know, 2 haste bodies and a 9k ping. It's enough to clear away 3 things from hand, you know, but it's
potential wipe with the LB Sephiroth coming up, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it does pair nicely with that Zac, but is there a deck for it? I don't know. It seems pretty greedy, and a 2CP 5k again just gives me the fear. It's got a lot of text on him. I'm just not sure any of it's any good.
It's the 5k on both of these that I think really hold them back.
Yeah. And you know, thinking about it, LB Sephiroth, this and Promo Zac all together, you know, 2 of those together do work quite nicely.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not too much to really say with this. Like, I anybody that's excited about it, sure, cool. But like, man, I just think about how much I love that Ice Reno with the haste one that plays a Rude from deck, and even if that's playing a Rude from deck now that can get the Reno S back to dull some guys, that's really cool. I do think that it's cool that it's going to deal 9k to something on S on this as well. Like, again, it's all pretty cool. It's just, man, Warrior of Light is still the best deck in the game. It's still One Worlds. Like, it's still dead AF, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these Turk effects would be nice if they were on Turks that weren't called Rude and Reno.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I think the peak of those is just the ice versions of them, and if it's not besting that, especially the Reno, then they just won't see play.
Moving into a quick round of water, because not really sure there's too much to talk about in this one. We start with, finally, Abzu, who I can't believe hasn't been in this either. Yeah, well, look, water is spoilt for choice in monsters, and they all cost 1 or they all cost 2. And if you're going to play a monster that costs 3, it better be spectacular. And this ain't that.
Sadly not.
And no, I think we can sort of spoil the whole water set by saying water has been very strong and very consistently good for a while now, and we're having a break from that after we look at the set.
Well, I don't think we're having a break from that. They just didn't get anything massively new.
Yeah, no, that's right. We're not getting any. Okay, I'll rephrase. We haven't got any new, majorly powerful tools for water. You know, I think having a bit of a rest in the power creep.
Next up, we have Abzu Shoat, and this ain't the guy either. Look, the discard ability is bad, but the 1 CP and putting him in the break zone to lose all abilities is not terrible, and could conceivably see constructive play. But I mean, you could just use Marlboro.
We have Marlboro at home. Marlboro.
Yeah.
Famfrit the Darkening Cloud. Sure. So it's another one of those. You can remove a backup to make it cost less. I'm not really sure that in water decks you'll be doing that. And you choose one auto ability triggered from a forward and put that forward into the break zone, draw 1 card. It does not cancel the effect. It's just, this is Suzahisa we have at home, isn't it?
mean, basically,
he doesn't kill the forwards, does he? Just lets you draw 2.
Put the forward into the break zone. So he does that, but he doesn't cancel the ability.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it can get around Gigawall. You know, Gigawall does its thing. It will still get the effect, but it will die and you can't protect it.
But I mean, you might just do cancel Lev like they already do, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess just how valuable does just killing the forward that triggered the auto become? Like,
oh, I mean, you don't do it on
getting rid
Gigawall. Jesus, you don't put a light card in the break zone.
no, but like, is killing 4-color wall on entry worth doing?
Probably not with the amount of recursion that deck has.
Yeah, but it's still setting them back potentially a little bit.
Well, all they did was draw a card, and you still paid 4. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody will like it. I don't think this is going to fit within the high standard of pantheon of water summons. Quattro Queen is this backup for Waff. It's in water. There is no water Waff. Cool.
Moving on.
Forwards in the set.
No, it just isn't in general. There's like the backup Refia is pretty good, for example. But water doesn't exist as a Waff thing. And it doesn't exist at all, really. But if it did, it would be like fire and ice a little bit, right? But
yeah, I also found this one a little bit weird. I think this is the first Waff card that actually has 2 categories.
Oh yeah, despite the fact that the art isn't actually any different for a Pick Logica.
Yeah.
Because that's where it actually comes from. Next we have Kraken 3. I have mixed feelings on this one. A lot of people seem to be really big on this one. I think this card is bad. A more positive mind, would they like to take this from me first?
I think it's a very interesting card.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the most interesting water card we've got this set.
Oh, I don't know, Tidus. Tidus is pretty interesting.
Tidus is good, don't get me wrong.
Tidus is
I
a
think
10 card.
Yeah, it's a 10 card more than a generic water card.
I think what's important is, again, this is a card that at least tries to incite some kind of deck building thought process behind it. Because obviously, a lot of the best water monsters are 1 costs, and a lot of the good, well, pretty much all of the good 2 costs you're playing off of Realm anyway, right?
So yes, or by the time that this is relevant to play the board, you've already played your monsters.
Sure. But it does also say summons, and I don't think that's irrelevant either. Obviously, one of the best summons in water, being Cactuars, kind of doesn't care. But this, plus a Una backup, making Aquatrazu Leviathan costing 1 is kind of wild.
I think I would say to that as well. We don't play Una as it is, and water decks have been happily paying 4 for cancel Lev and still winning games.
So the reason why we haven't been playing Una is because of the monster build in water, but there is definitely I do think there's space for a more summon heavy water build. I think there was I can't remember the guy, I think it was one of the YYT lot was playing a deck with the Leviathan from last set, the one with the guy.
Oh yeah.
And that was really, really annoying to play against, just because the constant removal, getting rid of 2 cards. And that did play the Una backup, making that card cost 2, making all your Leviathans basically costing 2, because most Leviathans cost 3. With this, then it costing 1 CP for those cards. Like, that's, to me, seems kind of insane. And I think that you probably want to play this card early enough that second effect of removing the backup can ruin your opponent's curve, their tempo. And then if you draw it late game, sure, it probably isn't going to be as good. You still probably could hit like a pretty useful backup And then again, if your opponent plays out the same backup before they can deal with this, then when this dies, they don't get the backup back anyway, right?
True. But I would say as well that in a lot of games now, like you look at the back row of say if you want to play this fairly early, I mean, like you're going to hit Claris or King Tycoon, or like which one is it going to be? Or like, you know, it's value backups are very heavy.
How do those decks spot removal this before getting set up?
Does it matter at that point?
It's still.
Well, I don't. But the thing is, it still costs you 4 CP that you didn't spend setting up with.
Well, I don't agree with that.
So it only puts you both at a neutral anyway. So it doesn't really. That's what I mean. I don't think it helps you all that much, really. And
it entirely depends on how much value you can get from the cost reduction, which is still probably going to be somewhat unreliable. But that's kind of why I like it, in the sense of it's something that can be tested and decks can kind of grow from this card. So I'm very intrigued to see what people could do with this card, but I don't think it is it's not a slot into a deck that already exists kind of card, which is great.
I think I'd love to be proven wrong on it. I really would, but I don't see it. And it's simple as that, really. I think if people are excited about it, absolutely prove it, like wipe the floor with me with it. But I just, it's like it takes that sort of like, if you play a mono water with like a Siren build, it has to take that Siren slot. Like, what do you take out of the deck to put this in? And is that like, you are not going to make monsters cheaper. You cannot make monsters cheaper at all with this card. So you have to do it with summons, and maybe as a sort of like Rydia card, it's pretty cool. But again, then you're still playing Siren that's more forwards for you, right? Dunno.
Yeah, I don't think this goes in a Siren deck. I think that for sure. You're not wanting to put more forwards into that deck. Yeah, interested to see what people do come up with this. But yeah, very much could be a card that gets tested. It turns out to be a flop. But hey, be good to try.
Cloud of Darkness. Well, this is the commonest common that ever commoned, right? It's got great and quite threatening text until you read it, which is your opponent selects up to 2 forwards they control, then put all the forwards the opponent controls other than the selected forwards in the break zone. Oh, what? So they've got to have gone wide and they still keep 2 forwards. All right, okay.
Would it have hurt if this said forwards and monsters and/or monsters?
No, it wouldn't have been bad at all.
As we've established today, no effect would be bad if it said that.
Yes. Yeah.
White Mage, it's this backup for these. Choose 1 forward, cost 1 in your break zone, add to your hand. Not terrible at all.
In the right deck, it might be great, but
I think what you pointed this out to me yesterday, Jacob, mainly for like the mirror decks.
yeah.
The mirror zombie decks.
Yeah, I was gonna say there could be something with a more water earth variant of mirror zombies sort of monster stool, where this is gets you back your mirrors after you've cycled through your zombies. I don't know. Like, water has pretty good monsters as we've already established, so could be something there.
Cecil gets a bunch of commons in these sets, and he's always chaff. He costs 5 CP, he's got 9k, and he doesn't do anything. That's that, right? Is there anything more? Legend Tidus. Oh man, this is super interesting. Right, so a water card called Tidus is already on the back foot at the moment, because like the EX Tidus from last set was really good. The LB Tidus is insane. So this is at least only goes in like Tribal Cat 10, but man, this is an interesting card. So when into the field, you may return 1 backup you control to your hand. And if you do so this turn, this turn, the cost required to cast your next category 10 character is reduced by 3. So that means like free Ice Unit from this set. or like you bounce your own like Waka back up and play another one back. But if it was the Yuna, for example, so you bounce Brother to your hand, you play a free Yuna. Yuna searches Riku from this set, and then Riku, you pay 2 for Riku, and then Riku replays the Brother. You've played 3 characters, which means that Tidus does -4 on something 3 times. That's pretty cool, right?
Himself.
That's 4 characters.
Oh my god, he does count himself. Yeah, so that's very doable, the turn that you do this, right? So
I think the other key part as well is he doesn't say to minimum of 1.
Yeah,
You can just free play these characters.
yeah.
So
I
know,
oh, go on.
I was going to say our one of our lot in the Cymru Cactuars, Connor, brought this up, and it sounds quite disgusting. Is the ability to bounce and replay backup Kimari, the 2 CP water one, which adds a Ronzo counter, and then you just start dishing out Ronzo counters to your entire board, which means they can only ever take damage in combat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I don't know about your entire board that you're doing it though, right? Because you're only bouncing the backup once.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you still probably got like, you can chocobo this, you can, if this dies, you get to play another one, like, But even still, yeah, like 2 forward just being unable to be touched pretty much is pretty rough as is.
I have no idea what the base is for this though. I think it's probably. Is it wind water? Is it wind ice that you're just using the Riku backup? But then again, you're not playing the Riku that plays a free backup or anything. Maybe you don't need to do that. I have no idea how to build the deck. I think it's super interesting, and I love these build around like tribal cards, but I've got no idea what to do with it.
This is the exact kind of legend. It's exact kind of legend that I love to see, because there are so many different sort of branching paths when doing deck building that I don't think any of them are going to be strictly the correct answer. They're just going to be variants, and I think eventually it's all going to be refined, and it just really, really brings deck building in this game to another level.
Yeah, definitely a builder's card more than anything. It's really cool, really like it. Can't wait to see what people do with it. Next up we have Dr. Sid. Jack, you were big on this one.
I'm just going to try it in my Cat 12 deck. It's not going to make the deck tier 1 or anything the like, but it's just an interesting card.
You were discussing last night, Jack, weren't we, how you can play this off of the multi-element Fran and ignore its water CP requirement.
I mean, just spot removal is nice, and semi-draw, because it's draw discard. I'm curious if this will end up in any type of mono water deck as well.
It could well do. It's absolutely fine. Draw 1, discard 1's not fantastic, because that is mandatory as well.
Anytime a forward leaves the field,
yeah. So if
it's for any reason,
and if you've got like no cards in hand, it's like just discard, just discard, right? A mill. But
if you're trying to keep a certain thing, you're going to lose it. Yeah.
Somebody might figure this one out. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's great either. People I've seen people have been mad on Broden.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think that just drawing 2 cards is pretty good. Like in Gigawall, this isn't terrible at all. Sure. Just drawing 2 cards is fantastic. And you don't care about it never activating ever again, because you're probably just never going to use it anyway.
Well, going back to the Famfrit, I mean, this is the thing you want to blow up with Famfrit, right? You get your 2 cards straight away. You then make Famfrit cheaper to cancel something in the next turn or 2.
This doesn't cancel something, it kills something. Well,
yeah, I mean, kill something with an auto, sorry. But, I mean, if if there's ever a backup you want to break that isn't Ranpair, it's this.
We talk a lot though about like facilitating bad cards with bad cards. So like your deck is if you draw all 3 Broden as your first and only backup in your hand, and all the Fanfrits are on the bottom of your deck, well, extend your hand, I suppose.
Yeah.
A backup that I'm really keen on is this Porum. I think this is really, really good. The Porum backup we had before, like forced discards. So like it always felt really bad to play in like we had like a water lightning build with it before and stuff like that, where again you wanted to play cat 4s to get crystals for Cecil and stuff like that, and it never felt great because you just always forced you to discard. But like not forcing that, I think, is really good. And the fact that like both the Porum and the Palom backups allow for the free play Palom Porums from a few sets ago, always just pretty good as well. And again, that's great stuff for like Rydia as well, right? Look, not bad at all. I don't dislike this in the slightest.
I always love more 4 backups because it gives me more ways of adding growth counters to the 2 CP Rydia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's just it's really this is a lot stronger than it looks, I think. It's not a name. Again, in Rydia, you don't really want to play too many forwards like that. So more names on the back row. Excellent. No, love it. Really keen on this one. Oh man. Remember that obviously Mobius characters, the original Mobius characters, can only be called Maya, Wall, or Sarah FF, not Sarah FFL, or Sarah Mobius. Man, well, I think, how many times did you read this one when it was spoiled?
I'm still reading it now. Like, wait, there's got to be something great about this, right? I mean,
well, clearly there's going to be loads of good Mobius like stuff for it in this one. That'd be great. That'd be fine. There's easier ways of doing what this card does, right? Water decks don't want to play this. Nobody wants to play a Mobius deck. There we go, right?
I tell you what this is though, a 3 CP water forward, which means you can play it off Young Exkin Mill.
Oh wow! What Mobius card are you getting rid of your break zone?
Sarah Mobius, the water one.
Oh, I suppose so.
Do you run 3 of those in the deck? So
broken.
Job which, so I can play it off Griever.
Play it off Griever, yeah, excellent, well done. Oh, actually, that is good because Griever
is Mobius.
So yeah, Griever actually says that like this is like it's actually a really good Griever target, but still
not enough. It's not making it happen.
I'm really happy that Water's had a pretty rough run of it this set. It can slow down a little bit. Finally, the last card we'll be talking about today is Rosa. Coldy, love. Jesus. Yeah, look, it searches for backups and being able, I always say that any card that allows you to go backup, forward, backup is pretty good. EX Burst, really good as well. I used to play in like Crystal Cecil deck. I used to play the Opus 5 Rosa, which searched for Cecils as well. But I think it was only forwards. I don't think this card's terrible at all. I don't think you'd be doing too much of it, but EX Burst and searches backups is good by me.
Yeah,
not a bad comment at all.
I suppose that's it.
Searchers are always sticking around now.
Yeah, on that exciting bombshell, I think that's the end of Water.
That is, and that's the end of this one for today. Wow, we really clearly not too excited about the water and water offerings in this one, but can't win them all, right? But with that, we will return for our final video, which will be Light, Dark, Archfiends, and LB. So we'll catch you in the next one.
See you then.
See ya.